and I hope all noble lords will do this.
My lords, Baroness Stow of Beeston raises some important, broader questions to be considered. But I think that she's actually overcomplicated what is a more straightforward problem that we have. When I heard about this particular set of instruments, which, after all, were brought in by the government into this House at report stage, which was extraordinary enough as it was, and lost, and then you find them, they've come back again, and then we're told, well, they have to come back again because something really dramatic has happened. There's been a whole new change of circumstances. The police haven't got the powers to police this really difficult situation. And then you find out what the new tactics are, and it's basically a load of people walking slowly in the middle of the road. And you do think, well, why don't the police just arrest them then? They've got a huge amount of power under public order. I was speaking at a meeting the other night, and somebody said, what are you doing? Why are the police not using the highway code to actually stop people walking slowly down the middle of the street? It makes no sense that the only way that the police can deal with this is to bring in a statutory instrument that goes against completely, constitutionally, the way that the law should be made. I do think there's a very serious danger that the law, and secondary legislation in particular, is being used because there is somehow a failure of the police to police, a failure of the government to ensure that the police police. And if you want to know the frustration of all this is, while the police say we haven't got the powers to stop people marching slowly in the middle of the highway, in the road, blocking everyone off, they suddenly spring into action rather quickly as soon as a member of the public gets frustrated and starts pulling down the barriers and drag that person off and put them and arrest them and so on. So you can see that there is a mess here. That's basically it. And I think the government have made that worse, and I think that using law in this way is discrediting in every possible way. But despite all of that, and my instincts, and all the way through the whole of the bill, my instinct is, as I saw somebody waving a placard at me on the way in, kill the bill. And I actually agree. This bill, I want this bill to go away, right? I'd love it. I don't, it's not a bill, that's an act. But I would love the act to disappear. I hate everything about a lot of the things that were brought in on that policing bill. Any civil libertarian does not want to lose liberties in the way that I think that we did. I agree with all of that. However, and I know, by the way, that Baroness Jones, take her at her word, Baroness Jones of Mulscombe has said that she has not brought in her fatal amendment lightly. She's lost sleep over it, and I think that that's fair enough. She's doing what she thinks in good conscience. It's just that, in the end, if the government are behaving constitutionally irresponsibly and tearing up conventions, I'm not prepared to imitate them. As far as I'm concerned, in the end, the only way that we can actually, in good conscience, behave is to condemn the government for what they've done, call on the government to get the police to do their job and stop using the law inappropriately in the way that they are, but ultimately express our regret, but not imitate by actually unconstitutionally ourselves asserting in an unelected chamber that we overthrow the elected House. I, by the way, so often disagree with the elected members up the corridor, it's boring. But who cares what I think? I am here not through the electorate or the public. We are all here because somebody put us here. And goodness knows that's a controversial enough matter. And goodness knows we have no more legitimacy than somebody somewhere thought we were a crony at some point. Well, they made a mistake there with me, let me tell you. But anyway, let me just say, we should not, I'm afraid, put a fatal motion through. This should absolutely, however, be condemned through the regret motion, and I support the Labour amendment, and I will be voting.
My Lords, I'd rise very briefly. Everybody would be grateful to know. First of all, I intend